Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and hope everybody's doing well. And man, I really appreciate you guys making some time out of your day to spend with me on the video. Guys, today I'm going to show you the tidbit craw rig. This is what I've named it. This isn't this is just my invention here, but I'm going to show you how to rig it, how to set it up, type of areas that it works in, because this is something that'll get you a quick limit of bass from about now for the next month. It's really good during the month of May. So we're going to get into that, and hopefully it'll add up to some good fish for you guys. Also, before we get started, guys, just a quick invitation. I'd like to invite everybody to please consider hitting that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Free and easy to do so. It's a good way to support the channel. And also, guys, please check out my Fish the Moment Lake Map breakdowns. We have our summer map breakdowns up on the site now. These are maps that I've built for Fish the Moment. It's taken me years to develop. Great resources to learn more about your favorite lake and get some good fishing spots you can put right on your GPS unit. So I'll put that Fish the Moment Lake Map breakdown link in the description. Really appreciate that. Okay guys, you've probably seen some of the stuff that I've done, like the tidbit rig and the sperm rig, all the stuff that I developed. And it's pretty satisfying, because when I was down at that Table Rock tournament, that BFL last weekend, one of the co-anglers walked past me, and he had a limit of fish in his bag he was going to wade in. He goes, sperm rig, Randy. He goes, I watched your video, and that's what I caught him on today. So that really makes me feel good when I can help everybody catch fish. And I think that what I'm going to show you guys here today with this tidbit craw rig is going to do the same thing. A little bit different in different situations. So let's get into how you want to fish it here and how you want to rig it up. Now this is a super simple deal, guys, how to fish this thing. There's only two things that it requires. First thing is, this is a zoom twin tail right here. And you got to get a little finessey twin tail. There's a lot of different twin tails on the market, but a lot of them are too big. So I'll link this zoom bait in the video here, the zoom crawler here in the video, so you guys can get a couple of them and rig it for this. But all you need that is the twin tail here, the zoom twin tail, and then just get you an 1/8 ounce ball head like this. And this was actually a finesse jig, and I cut the weed guard off of it. But for this particular technique, I don't fish the tidbit craw rig around very thick cover. It's not like I pitch it and flip it. I'm fishing it more on open areas like rock, so you don't really need a weed guard on it. So first thing, guys, just cut off just about 1/4 of an inch, because you want to get this thing super short. And then you're just going to come in, thread it in, make sure it's on straight. And here's another thing, guys. When you rig these twin tails like this, you really have to make sure that you get them perfectly through the middle, because if you come off to the side just a little bit, the bait doesn't fall right. It falls sort of sideways. So really spend some time, making sure that you got it on there just rigged just right there. So it's going to look just like this. Nice, simple rig, guys, just like that. And a couple of different things I'll do to this thing. I usually actually I came off a little bit to the side there. Let me redo that. That's the thing about getting older, guys. It's just hard to see up close, even with reading glasses. Okay, so there you got that. And just make sure you sort of get it on straight. But that's the setup right there, guys. Just a jig head with a twin tail on it. Now, the difference in this is most setups like this, people use some type of a weed guard, or a weed guard too, but they have a skirt on there. But what we've done is we removed the skirt, so it's a lot more finessey. This creates a completely different profile in the water. It makes it into like a truly finesse bait versus like a finesse jig. And the difference between fishing the crawl like this with no skirt on it versus with a skirt on it is like night and day. It's like you can take this same setup with the twin tail, and I've done it before, and you can put a skirt on it, and guys, you will get half the bites on it, literally. It's like you can fish it like this and get twice as many bites on it in the situation that I'm talking about. And also, let me get my dye pin here. I'm going to show you guys how to dye it up, because most all the time, you definitely want to dye the tails on the thing. I think that makes a big difference, even if you're in clear water. There's something about a twin tail or any type of a jig trailer that just a little bit of chartreuse on the tails of it seems like it really adds up. I don't know if you guys have tried this, guys. The Spike It spray dye. I use this stuff all the time. I don't hardly ever use the dipping dyes. I use the spray most all the time. I'll put this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video too. I get it at Tackle Warehouse just like you guys do. I just put a little chartreuse on it. Adds just a little bit of color to it. And like I said, even in clear water, there's something about that little bit of chartreuse on the tail there that makes a huge difference. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about where you want to fish it at and the setup and everything. Even though this is an 1/8 ounce head, one of the things that I figured out about this, and that's from fishing a lot of finesse jigs here in the Ozarks over the years, and I don't really know what it is, but I throw it on a bait caster. Even though this is a finessey little bait, I don't like it on a spinning rod because there's something about, I can't really figure out what the deal is, but because I've experimented with both, but when I use a bait caster, just the way that you work the bait with a bait caster, whatever it is, it could be just the rod, how you hold how the rod is held in your hand, but I get a lot more bites with the bait caster. So normally I'm throwing it on like 8 to 10 pound tests, Seaguar Vizx line. I'll use some type of just a medium heavy action bait casting rod. That's my setup with it. And what you want to look for in the month of May specifically is these post-spawn areas, and maybe some late fry garters a little bit, but you want to be in these post-spawn areas to fish this particular bait on. So what I like to do, there's like 3 different scenarios. The first thing I like to do, I go back in those spawning coves where I know those fish have been spawning at, flatter spawning type coves. I get about halfway back in there and I start throwing out deeper away from the bank. So say for example, if the bass were bedding in 3 foot of water, and you could see some beds in 3 foot of water, I'll back out on the same areas and I'll target sort of that 8 to 10 foot of water close by there. And the very first time I figured this out, guys, is I was fishing a tournament at Table Rock Lake. It was a buddy tournament, and I was down there practicing a week before the tournament. And there were bass all over the beds in this one particular area I was at. And when I got there in the tournament a week later, I practiced like on a Sunday and the tournament was the following Saturday. When I got back into this area, the fish were off the beds. So I just thought, man, there's no way just in a week times these fish have swum out to deep water. So what I did is I backed off with that little tidbit craw rig and I started just casting out away from the beds in deeper water and wound up catching a 21 pound bag in the tournament, finished second in the tournament with 21 pounds, caught all of them doing that out away from the spawning areas. So that's number one. Number two is if you have a lake that has a big spotted bass or a smallmouth population, what you want to do is go to the closest steep rocky bank closest to the spawning area where you think those fish have spawned. So say for example, if you're back, the fish have been spawning in a cove. If you come out of that cove and you go to the nearest steep bank, now sometimes there's a bluff bank that leads into the cove, sometimes there's a channel bank, but get on that steepest rocky bank closest to that spawning cove and just start casting that tidbit craw rig to the bank. Just work it down in anywhere between 3 to 10 or 15 foot of water, depending upon what the water clarity is and that type of stuff. That really works good. And finally, flatter gravel points. If you're on a flatter gravel point, again, closer to the spawning areas are going to be a little bit better, but basically just casting that thing out on a flat gravel point. These would be the same places that you're throwing a football head jig or a Ned rig or anything like that. But basically that tidbit craw rig, it's like a finessey football head jig, even though it's got a round one. So the good thing about that twin tail is you can hop it off the bottom and you can also drag it and catch fish. So I drag it a lot on those gravelly points and then I'll hop it on those steeper banks. But guys, it's just a really good way to catch them. And ideal scenario as far as the conditions go, it works in about, I like to have water visibility of, around 2 to 4 foot is ideal, which a lot of lakes have that. But if you've got 2 to 4 foot of visibility, doesn't really matter what the conditions are as far as the sunlight conditions or the wind. They bite it in cloudy days or sunny days both. But if you got 2 to 4 foot of visibility and you've got water temperatures in the 70s, which just makes it really good, you're going to catch a bunch of fish on that. Any place that you're catching fish on a shaky head or a Ned rig or some type of a smaller bottom type bait, just try that thing, man. Just rig it up, give it a try, cast it out there, and it works really good. Also I've caught quite a few also on steeper riprap banks. Now I'll give you some examples of some lakes that I've caught them on really good with this thing. Obviously all the Ozark lakes around here in my part of the country is really good. I've caught them on Lake Lanier in Georgia. I've caught them pitching underneath boat docks at Lake Norman in North Carolina. I've caught them on Lake Gunnersville on it, fishing those pole docks on Lake Gunnersville. Caught them on Lake Cumberland with it, fishing bluffy banks on Lake Cumberland, especially those big smallmouth down there. So it's just a really good thing, guys. Now you've got the sperm rig, you've got the peed rig, you got the finesse craw rig. There's a bunch of different things you can look back that, things I just came up with, just the experimentation that I think will help you guys catch a lot of fish. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll check in later.